All right, we need to talk about some major changes happening with SNAP, the nation's food assistance program. These shifts are going to affect millions of Americans, so if you or someone you know relies on these benefits, you'll really want to pay attention. Let's break down exactly what's changing and what it all means for you. To give you a sense of scale here, we're talking about over 40 million people. That's how many rely on SNAP. It is by far the largest food assistance program in the country, a critical lifeline that helps families put food on the table. But here's the thing, a whole wave of new requirements has started rolling out, and honestly, it's creating a lot more red tape. It's making it much, much harder for certain groups to get and keep their assistance. So what are these new hurdles exactly? Let's dive in and look at the specific challenges that millions of people are now facing. Okay, at the very heart of all these changes is a rule called the 3-month time limit. The basic idea is this. Unless you're working at least 20 hours a week, volunteering, or in a job training program, you can only get SNAP benefits for 3 months out of a 3-year period. That's it. Now here's the single biggest change, the one that's really shaking things up. Before, this rule only applied to people aged 18 to 54. But now, that age bracket has been pushed all the way up to 64. That's a whole decade of older adults who are now caught up in these strict work requirements, many of whom were previously exempt and face all sorts of unique challenges in the job market. And it's not just about age. A bunch of other groups have lost the automatic exemptions they used to have. For example, if you're a parent, the rules now kick in once your kid turns 14, not 18 like before. And this is really crucial. Veterans, homeless individuals, and former foster youth up to age 24, all of these groups were protected before, and now they're all subject to that strict 3-month limit. Okay, I know that all sounds pretty daunting, but don't worry. There are immediate practical steps you can take to protect your benefits. So let's look at what you need to do right now. The most important thing here is to be proactive. First, and this sounds simple, but it is so vital, make sure your state agency has your correct address and phone number. Second, report any changes to your household right away. If you have teenagers, you absolutely need to double-check those new caregiver rules. And please, I can't stress this enough. Open all your mail. Agencies are sending out a mountain of paperwork, and missing a single deadline could get you kicked off the program. And finally, if you have any doubt at all, just call your agency to confirm your status. So, while the rules are definitely getting tougher for a lot of people, the story is actually, well, it's pretty different for seniors. It turns out, there's a whole separate set of special and frankly more generous rules that are designed specifically for seniors. And this is just so important to know, because right now, an estimated 9 million older adults are eligible for SNAP benefits, but they aren't enrolled. That's 9 million people leaving money on the table, money they're entitled to that can make a huge difference in their lives. And this slide really shows you why it's so important for seniors to apply. I mean, look at this. Their asset limit is higher, $4,500 versus $3,000. They are the only group that can deduct medical expenses over $35 a month from their income, which can make a huge difference in whether they qualify. And get this, instead of having to renew their benefits every 6 to 12 months, seniors can have renewal periods that last up to 3 years. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Getting approved for SNAP isn't just about the monthly benefit for groceries. The EBT card itself unlocks a surprising number of extra perks. You know, some people might think, is it really worth all the paperwork for just a small benefit? And the answer is a resounding yes. Because as this quote points out, when you're on a fixed income, every single dollar counts. And the value of that EBT card goes way beyond the dollar amount printed on it. This is the really cool part. Just by having that card, you can get free or deeply discounted admission to over 2,000 museums. You can get more than 50% off an Amazon Prime membership. A lot of farmers markets have these double up programs that literally double your money. You can turn $20 into $40 worth of fresh produce. And in 9 states, seniors can even use their EBT card to buy hot prepared meals at certain restaurants. And it's not just about individual households, you know? There's a benefit for the entire community. It turns out that for every $1 spent in SNAP benefits, it generates about $1.70 in local economic activity. That money goes right back to support local grocery stores and farmers markets. So if you're listening to this and thinking you might be eligible, how do you apply and make sure you get the absolute maximum benefit you deserve? You can apply online, by mail, or in person. The biggest tip, especially for seniors, is to track all your medical expenses. That's prescriptions, co-pays, even gas money to get to your appointments. But you don't have to figure all this out alone. Your local area agency on aging, senior centers, food banks, and even public libraries offer free expert help with applications. So, all of this really brings us to a final and I think critical question. With so many new rules causing confusion and millions of eligible seniors still not signed up, what's the biggest hurdle here? Is it the complexity of the rules themselves, or is it just a simple lack of awareness? Whatever the answer is, spreading the word about these benefits and all the help that's out there is more important than ever.